What's going on? Welcome to the channel, and thank you so much for taking your own time out to click on this video. Where today, if you're brand new here or you're coming back once again, I do a series on this channel every now and then called Classic Movie Trip, where essentially I go to my local cinema, or maybe one that's a little bit further out, depending on where, of course, where they're showing the movie, where a lot of the times they maybe show an older movie in 4K, or they show an older movie in its older format, whatever the case should be. And so far in this little series, it's all been movies I've never seen before, including kind of today's movie, because it is actually being remastered in 4K. I've actually got a t-shirt of it as well, and that is the 2009 James Cameron movie Avatar. Yeah, so I've seen like the main beats of this movie, so I know exactly kind of what happens in this, and I remember from the parts I have seen, I have enjoyed, but I've never seen it in its entirety. So what better way than this brand new re-release and kind of to hype up The Way of Water coming out in December of 2022, which I'm really excited for, by the way. So yes, Classic Movie Trip today is Avatar. So I'm going to take you with me. We're going to go in the cinema. We're going to experience the movie. And we're also going to hear what I kind of think about the movie afterwards. So yeah, stick around. Come to the cinema. Let's get to it. Alright, so I'm now back home, and I couldn't film the rest of my thoughts after seeing the movie because here in the UK right now, as we're approaching to winter time, it gets dark about 6 o'clock, and this showing started at 10 to 4 tonight, and then obviously given the fact that it had trailers and then the runtime of the movie, yeah, it was pitch dark by the time I got out. Anyway, got back home, and yeah, this movie, Avatar, it stars the likes of Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, just to name a few. So it's got an all-star cast, and what I can actually say now that I've seen it all in its entirety is I thought this movie was pretty darn awesome. Does it hold up all these years later? Pretty much, yeah. What I will say that I think kind of helped add to the experience is seeing this in 3D. Now, when was the last time we actually saw a 3D movie? I mean, at least for myself, it's got to be at least a couple of years. So see, I can't even remember the last time I saw a 3D movie, but it was so great seeing this in 3D because all the little motions of like the trees, or like even in a certain scene when Sam Worthington's character of Jake Sully is going by in his wheelchair, even just like the locker was like popping out a little bit in the frame, so it wasn't as if it's like a cheesy water effect splashing out of the screen for you. It's just like the objects in the frame were sticking out more than they should be, or more than they normally do. So I really appreciate that, and I think in 3D it holds up really, really well. And it was just such a great experience seeing this movie in the cinema on the big screen and in 4K. I would say that overall the acting for most part in this movie is pretty solid. There's not one bad performance in here. I would say that I was more interested in Zoe Saldana's character. I think personally that she was my favourite in this entire movie. Although Sam Worthington does give a good performance, I would say in terms of like any negatives that I have for Avatar is there was one tiny scene in here that I think didn't really stand up as well, or you could tell it wasn't as well edited, or maybe the effects used as like the rest of the movie. There's just one scene that really stood out, and then besides all that, I would say there was one or two little bit times where the pacing was a little bit too much. Maybe they could have shortened down this movie, but I also felt like Sam Worthington's character of Jake Sully, although he's our lead protagonist, I just felt like we couldn't really connect a lot with his character. Yes, we do get a backstory with him and we get some narration throughout the movie, but it's literally a very quick kind of like one line being like, oh, this is what happened to him and this is how I'm now a paraplegic, which I was like, okay, well that's fair enough, but I still would have liked to have seen that explored a little bit more. But besides that, this film is visually striking, honestly. Wow, what a beautifully made movie. The cinematography is absolutely astonishing. Wow, this movie in this moon of Pandora, you can really get soaked up in that atmosphere, and I truly was. Breathtaking scenes throughout. The music in this movie, wow, I forgot to look up who actually did the music for this movie, but yeah, just the soundtrack alone here and the score could be listened to repeat. It was just so kind of sensual and just so relaxing. Also, I really enjoyed it, but also amped up the tensions when it needed to. What I will also say is, if you're going to check out this reissue or this 4K version of Avatar in the cinema while it is still on, there is kind of like a mid-level kind of post-credit scene at the end of the movie that is actually an exclusive clip from Avatar: The Way of Water, and wow. That's all I'm going to say. Truly, wow. I do know that this movie, The Way of Water, has been delayed for so long because James Cameron wanted the motion capture for underwater, which has never been done before. And if that one scene alone is anything to go by, absolutely it's going to knock everyone's socks off. Truly, it looked amazing. So my overall score for Avatar is a 4 out of 5 stars. So have you seen Avatar? Are you yet to see this movie? Leave any and all comments down below. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Classic Movie Trip. Please give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And I also want to give a special thank you to my awesome Patreons. For only £2 per month, you can also join Patreon, where you get access to videos like this as an early access. You also get a say in what goes on the channel. You also get a update on any schedules I have and my content for the week. You get 2 times entries in giveaways and so much more stuff coming to the channel very shortly. And I want to give a special thank you to my awesome patrons, who are Adam from over at What the Gym, Elliot at IMO Reviews, Tyler Babb at his channel Tyler Babb and the Rendered Image, Jason from his channel Jason the Old Millennial, D Movie Man from his channel D Movie Man, Ryan from RWR Movie Reviews, Josh from Classic Reviews, AJ Ford at his channel AJ Ford, and Michael O'Brien. So those 8 guys that I mentioned just before all have YouTube channels, so their channel names are in the description box down below. But thank you so much for tuning into this review, and until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.